Alright guys, this is just going to be a basic installation video for Arch Linux. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you how to create a USB and boot from it. In a future video, I'm going to show you how to make a Arch install from a current Linux install, but this one is just going to be basically booting from a USB ISO, as well as just installing and getting your desktop environment and creating your user. So from there, it should be pretty simple. So I'm assuming most people are going to be doing it from Windows. And all you're going to want to do in Windows is download the program called Rufus, as well as your Arch Linux ISO. And you're going to open it up, and all you're basically going to do is format your USB drive to GPT and then FAT32. Once you do that, you select it here, and then you select your downloaded Arch ISO image. And then from there, you just make sure this says UEFI. Unless your system is legacy, then you would do that, but this is going to be a UEFI guide. So from there, you just hit start, and once that's done, you're pretty much ready to go. One other option too is you can create your install through Linux or Mac. There's some different ways to do that, and I'll just show you the command you can do in Arch Linux. So basically from this point, if you wanted to create a USB, you would do a command called, so you would erase your USB drive. So first of all, you do lsblk-f, and then isolate your USB drive. Let's say it's SDA. Mine is not, but let's just say it is. You would do sudo wipe fs-a/dev, and then whatever your device is. Once that's done, you would just take the command that I have here in my document, and you would obviously change this. So first of all, you're going to download the ISO, and then you would go to the directory of the ISO. So essentially, let's just copy this here. And all you would do is do cd / let's say it's in your downloads, /home / your username / downloads. And then you would type in the command that I have provided, and then it's basically it. Just change that for the ISO file, and then /dev / whatever your device is. So it's also worth noting that you can create a refined USB, and that way you don't have to worry about installing grub through your ISO image. I'll go over that in a video later, but this video is just going to be showing the very basic bare minimum install of Arch Linux. So let's say you have the USB created. And at this point, what you would want to do is boot up your computer with the USB plugged in. And from there, we're just going to simulate that here in a virtual machine. So I'm going to, as you can see, I have my USB ISO. So this is effectively the same thing for you guys. So you would do just power on your computer, and make sure that it recognizes that USB drive. And you should see it here in your firmware settings. Once that's done, you can boot from it. And you just hit enter here, and hopefully if everything goes well, you should get to a command prompt. And I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a few seconds. So once we get there, I'm going to show you the rest of the install process. So this is basically it, guys. Once you're at your desktop like this, your command prompt like this, you're basically ready to install Arch. So the only thing that you do before that would be connecting to your Wi-Fi. So I'm on a virtual machine, I don't have to worry about it, but let's just say I had to. You type in iwctl, hit enter, and it's going to scan for Wi-Fi networks from there. So basically, you can figure out that, get your connection started, and then we're going to go ahead and start the install. So to begin with the install, we're going to basically figure out which disk we want to install to. So to do that, we're going to do lsblk-f. So I'm going to be using NVMe0N1. So what I'm going to do is type in cfdisk/dev/NVMe0N1, and basically create the partition table like this. So first partition with about 500 megabytes of space, and EFI system partition, and then use up the rest with a Linux file system partition. So once you have that, you can write it. And now from there we can quit, and at this point we can just verify that everything is the way we want it. But first, we're going to do mkfs.ext4/dev/nvme0n1p2, and this is for the root and home directory. And this is going to allow us to create the file system on there. Okay, so I just have to go ahead and unmount that, and now I'll be able to do that. Okay, and now from this point, all we're going to want to do is mount that drive to /mnt. And then from here, we run our backstrap command. And this might take a little bit of time, so we can just go ahead and wait for that to finish. Once this is completed, we're going to run the genfs tab command. After that, we're going to put chroot into the environment /mnt, and from here we're going to just basically configure our system just for bare minimum. And anywhere you see Linux USB, you're going to want to change that to whatever you like. Now we're going to set our root password. And here we're actually going to create our user. And don't forget to set the password for that user. Now at this point, we're just going to download some other packages, sorry. and I will come back to you guys when this is finished. Alright, it's pretty much finishing up here, so I thought I'd come back. And I'd like to say at this point we've installed Plasma, and the last thing we need to do is get our bootloader working, and then we're going to be able to take out the USB and restart from the system's drive. So as soon as we see this finish here, we will be good to begin. So at this point, we're going to do lsblk-f. We're going to go find that first partition that we made for our EFI boot. So we're going to do mkfs dot fat slash f capital 32 slash dev slash nvme0 and 1p1. And when that's done, now we are actually good to mount it. We mkdir slash boot slash EFI, and now we're good to mount it. Slash boot slash EFI. Perfect. Now we're good to run our grub install command. Now that that's done, we are going to regenerate the init ramfs. So we're going to do mkinit cpio-p. When that's done, we are going to take this here and run this. And now when that's done, we just need to start these two services. And this one here. Okay, and now if you want to be a sudo user, we already created the user under the group wheel. So what we're going to do is nano /etc/sudoers. We're going to go in here. It might not let us change it until we actually boot in. But what you want to do is uncomment this here. And now we are actually good to shut down. So we can do shutdown now. And from here, you want to unplug your USB drive. So I'm just going to take this out, and then we will restart. and we should have a fully functioning system with Plasma on it. Alright, there we go guys. That has been my tutorial for our basic Arch installation. Thanks for watching. There's going to be a lot more content coming up.